Coming up on this episode of Lust to Dust.
He's calling her baby.
I was going to say.
Right.
This is the first time we've seen the word baby in the book.
From lust to dust.
Welcome back to From Lust to Dust, my horny dead dad.
Podcast where we read our dead dad's sex book.
Sex book, that's right.
Woo.
Real. And on the pod today, we got Laura.
Thank you for having me back.
This is our first time having a repeat guest.
Yeah.
And Laura, this will be interesting because you were with us on our very first episode, the inaugural reading of 28 Second Chances at Love. Our dad has come a long way.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that you are listening to the pod.
Yeah.
And I think we're excited to hear what you have got to say.
Laura's perspective. We were supposed to have comedian Beth Stella.
Oh, yeah. That's so
But
sad.
life happens.
Life
you
happens.
know? Brett caught gangrene in the foot.
I had
It's
foot
been
gangrene.
amputated.
Due to my prosthetic gangrene, we no longer were able to have her.
So we flew Laura in.
We got Laura in.
You still do it for me, babe.
As we know, Laura was on our first episode. Laura is Brett's girlfriend. So Laura, why don't we get a little pulse check? This is our 12th episode. So what do you think so far?
What's your gut?
I love this podcast. It's so funny.
You know, okay, well, here's an interesting thing. First episode, Laura, you were wearing a dress. But we got a comment the second episode of a man didn't have a lot of empathy for Brett and I because, as he said, you have a nice leggy girlfriend.
Wow.
He called you.
Honey.
Yeah,
He called you leggy.
pretty hard. He goes, I'm not sympathizing with you guys. I don't care your dad died. You're two handsome guys with a leggy girlfriend.
I don't like
And I go, look, I hope he kept listening because I think he'll realize at this point, our point of this podcast is not sympathy. Okay? We're not asking for sympathy in any of this.
No part of us.
I think if anything, we're asking for forgiveness after each episode. So
Give us world.
Yeah.
Okay, I am listening to this. All of it's amazing. I love your dad's arc. There's a lot of questions, but I do feel really protective of you guys as like my boyfriend and one of my best friends / brother.
Sure. In what sense do you feel like?
But I'm like, what are you guys doing in all of this? I know that the book isn't about being a dad.
I think here's why we're not mentioned a ton yet. It's early. Most of these specific experiences we're not interacting with most of these women yet.
Yeah.
And as this will progress, as we age, we start to interact more, and I bet we'll be more prominent in this.
You've said a couple of times in the pod when your guests ask what kind of psychological effect this has on you. Conner, you're like, don't know any other way.
What does anyone really know what psychological effect anything has on them other than
What does anyone ever really know anything?
I mean, some
You just
things
grow
manifest
up.
in your life. You can say, all right, I'm this
grow
way
up.
because this or what
True.
have you. But
True.
like, no, you can't really get into the specifics because it's impossible unless you sit with a psychotherapist, which I'm vehemently
How much
against.
good is that?
To open any of this up, should we just want to skate all over it?
Is that helpful?
I don't need to cry in front of a PhD.
I'll cry in front of a man living on the street as I share a 40 on the stoop with him, you know?
Yeah.
It's way better, cheaper.
It's better for me.
I think the person who's
go to
really
beer.
cracked open the can of worms that is their childhood, they become like a rollerblader. You know what I mean? Just like a male rollerblader.
I know who you're talking about.
Which brings it up. I think let's this next chapter is Faith.
We're going to jump into Faith.
Faith.
All right.
Laura,
Woo!
the next woman on our list. I think this is he's slept with Diana so far. Now he slept with Audrey.
That's it.
He did not sleep with
The 27-year-old who became his
No, that's
strip
Lee
club buddy?
Maria and the Southern Belle. Taylor. Taylor's the woman he kept driving down to go down on. So he didn't sleep with Taylor. So he's basically gone from, he went on a date with a friend of a friend. That's how he opened. Then he went to Taylor, went down on the woman. She didn't reciprocate. He went to a few strip clubs. Then he went to Diana, got laid for the first time.
Yep.
Audrey.
Now it's Faith time.
All right, guys. Well, now we're getting into Faith.
Even though I was once again back to the drawing board, I now had a renewed confidence. The experience with Audrey regenerated me and inspired me to plow on.
If he describes sex in this as plowing at any point,
Oof.
I would be pretty surprised. That's a tough one.
That's girl 28.
So that also shows you it's getting a little depressing for him.
Yeah.
Plow?
Plow
not,
on
not,
is-
not a term that, plow's just a farmer behind the tractor, just grumpily just going.
Yeah.
You know?
Sweat.
Yeah, if you ask your buddy how he's doing, he said, I'm plowing on, you check in on him.
If I'm plowing on in life, give me a call.
In the meantime, I kept active online, hoping that might yield some opportunities. One thing about online dating that always amazed me was the number of women who didn't post pictures. One can only imagine what a person is hiding by not revealing at least a headshot. For this reason, I almost always ignored any contact from girls without pictures.
I mean, that's crazy.
I hate that. Swiping and it's just like an emoji.
Occasionally on an app, you will find someone who's just like got memes or some weird shit. And yeah, obviously you blast through that because that's a psychopath.
That's weird.
I think 98% of the time it was probably a man on the other end.
Oh, yeah.
What psycho would go on a date with someone with no photo?
You're
Right.
ready to be
Yeah.
skinned alive.
However, then came Faith.
Well, the answer was my father.
Although her profile lacked a photo, her email to me was well written and very cute.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, fascinating.
So he did it. That's insane.
this is crazy.
If there's any man who's going to get wowed by a little text, probably Bob.
Why?
I don't know. It kind of is his character a little bit. He is the romantic.
Yeah, he liked connecting
know?
on a different level.
Well,
So it's a little less like, what does she look like? Although he certainly had his vain sense when it came to that. But this is a bit shocking. I don't know anyone who would agree to go on a date with someone without a photo at all.
She referred to herself as an online dating idiot. She was 39, divorced, had a boy close to my youngest son's age, and lived only about 10 miles from my house. What the heck, I thought. It won't hurt to ask her for a picture. She emailed back that she was terribly stupid about how to upload one, but she'd give it a try. I was suspicious that this might be just an excuse, but 3 days later came the email. Check it out now, came a reply. Posted a few pictures, though I look awful. Fully expecting someone 250 pounds.
Yeah.
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'll say though, my dad he had a fascination with 250 pounds. He's used that
mentions
number
it a few too many
several
times.
times.
Right.
That to him, it seems to be the breaking point.
It is. It's an emphasis on
248?
250.
Fine.
Yeah,
249?
249.
I guess he's diving in.
Yeah, he's good.
You know?
He's good.
It is something about this 250 fascination.
I was shocked when I opened her profile. She was very good looking. Beautiful facial shape, full lips, nice complexion, warm smile, and long blonde hair.
Ooh.
We phoned that night and we seemed to hit it off right away. She was a total Southern belle with a syrupy Alabama drawl.
Syrupy.
Mm.
I'm surprised he didn't use syrupy to describe sex.
Yeah.
He's using up a lot of his sex words.
He is plowing and syrupy within two paragraphs.
Last night I plowed on.
It's funny, syrupy. He was a sucker for those Southern belles.
Yeah.
Those blonde Southern belles. Oh God, that was a rat trap to him in a way.
A syrupy Alabama drawl.
I feel like that's kind of your type, Connor.
I'm not much of the syrupy to me sounds a little mobile-ish, you know? I mean, yeah.
Little
It's a
handicap.
little foghorn leghorn.
Yeah, at least
you know?
give me some Birmingham.
Faith divorced several years ago, and like many girls I'd been meeting, she was basically raising her child mostly by herself. Overall, we seemed to get along great on the phone and agreed to meet a few nights later for dinner.
Savior complex is being activated.
He loved nothing more than a syrupy Southern woman
Mm.
Who's found herself in a pickle.
who's found
She's
herself
in
in
a
a good
pickle.
pickle.
Oh, Bob. Well, the kids, well, unfortunately, their father.
Look at your condo. What a view.
Oh, what a view.
Oh,
Oh, I've always looked up. I've never been able to look down.
oh my good
Well,
God, Bob.
we're on the 5th floor. I didn't know they even went that high.
Yeah, dear God, we in a skyscraper, Bob.
What is this, a skyscraper?
You got some pancakes in the morning for this syrupy drip.
Oh, I got so much syrup dripping down my...
Bob had nothing but syrup to donate, so
He was ready.
Meeting her in person verified everything I'd imagined about her. She was just as pretty in person as her picture, had a marvelous body, and an extremely warm and cute demeanor. Big southern hair, and a large, surgically enhanced chest to match.
He loved fake tits.
oh, he was a big fan.
This was also
Really?
at the height of fake tits.
Yeah.
I think wartime is fake tits.
Wartime
This
is
was middle of the
fake
Iraq War.
tits.
We might be entering a big fake tit era.
We're about to enter a fake tit era. I would say if you want to invest in anything, I would invest in silicone right now.
That's a
because-
good point. This is a wartime wife right here.
Because you know what it is? The fake tits, you're in the foxhole and, you're showing your buddy what you got at home. And it's
Exactly.
fake. Fake tits photograph well.
Because if you're in a foxhole and you're in Afghanistan
And you're cranking it to a single photo.
and you got one photo,
One.
that woman needs to have a package.
Yeah.
Pamela Anderson single-handedly won the Kuwait War, Desert Storm.
Yeah.
That's the
That
thing.
poster on those soldiers'
It worries
walls,
me about Iran is that, we don't have our modern day Pamela.
we technically have
That-
Sydney.
Well, I was
Sweeney.
gonna say we got
Right.
blue jeans.
We have Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, if you're watching this, the Iran war is in your hands.
She's got it.
If we win World War III, it's on Sydney Sweeney.
It's on Sydney.
I'll bet we lost the Bay of Pigs because JFK was probably on the rocks of Maryland that week.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Cuba would have fallen had Maryland stuck it out a little longer.
No doubt I was attracted to her, and I guess she thought the same of me. We talked about our kids and the challenges of raising them in split households. I had no idea how many single divorced women there were in this town, I thought, as I gazed at her during dinner. As a married man, I just never paid attention. I wasn't looking, so they were never on my radar. After just a few sessions online, though, I began to realize just how many single parents were out there as well. At the same time, I was still largely unsure of what I was looking for. I knew, of course, that I wanted an attractive woman, but who didn't? My ex-wife was very attractive and had kept herself in fabulous physical shape, in spite of having 3 boys.
Your mom is hot as fuck.
In spite of having 3 boys, he says. Yeah. She did. She's,
Well, I think the last point here is that he's saying he wasn't aware of all the eligible divorced women in Charleston.
So he's kind of discovering like, oh, there's this new segment that, I think he's probably putting together. He can do pretty
But
well.
naturally, you're not aware of that. That'd be like me saying like, God, the bear gay community is quite robust in Los Angeles. like, of course, you're married. You don't. Why would you be aware?
Yeah, it's
of
a little odd for him to. Yeah.
You're not going to be aware of a community that you have no part in until you need it.
Yeah, it's fair. And you need the bear gay community in Los Angeles, Connor. I'll tell you right now.
But beyond the obvious desire for someone with great looks, I never gave much thought to the myriad of other qualities, or lack thereof, that I should be aware of when looking for my ideal women.
More or less saying here, the only reason he got with our mother is because she was attractive.
Do you think he never even went beyond that?
He seems to.
The syrupy
Yeah.
Southern accent our mom has.
Do you think he really likes being liked?
I think men can do this thing where maybe you don't analyze it.
Well, for example, Laura, when I have to describe why I like you, because sometimes you'll ask me that, and I'm not very good at coming up with an actual
It's
response.
really bad. It's
But-
like,
But it's everything. But I can't, I'm like, to call out specifics, I don't think in specifics.
it's just vibes. You're just like, oh, she's like, was attractive, and then
That's not what I say.
are we still friends? Do you
Laura,
still like
I
me?
love you for your southern drawl and your large surgically enhanced chest.
Sitting here at dinner, at least one thing was clear. Faith was certainly attractive, fun, and sensual, and for now, that was all I needed to know. After a great dinner, I drove her home, kissed her goodnight, and then we agreed to see each other again. 3 dates later, we were fully engaged into sex.
How far this book has come is crazy.
I mean,
3 days later,
this book,
fully engaged.
what the hell is that?
I mean, we
fully
spent
engaged.
35 pages where he was just trying to get anything.
We were in syrupy lovemaking, night 3. I go, what is this?
Life after divorce.
Life after divorce.
We'd meet, drink, eat, and then head to the bedroom.
It sounds like she might have a bit of a nymphomaniac problem. Not that my dad doesn't.
I mean, the woman who doesn't have a damn photo on her profile ain't shy about much other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Yeah, this is a bit odd.
Yeah, maybe she was like on the run.
Wow.
she could be a felon.
She's like a nympho felon. Can you get arrested for having too much steamy hot sex?
Go ahead. Lock me up.
When she turned 40, I planned a special dinner.
Oh,
When she turned 40.
Sounds like, and this is complex sometimes. Sometimes you start dating someone around their birthday and it's a little too close to their birthday. And you're like, oh, we just started dating 2 weeks ago, but now it's your birthday. And now I'm like, well, it's that awkward. What do I do?
he doesn't know what she likes
Or
for her 40th.
for sure.
That's mean.
The other thing I'm seeing, we got a woman about to turn 40.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of caught her right at the right time.
Vulnerable.
She's vulnerable. She's thinking about that big 4-0. And she's thinking,
She's trying to lock it down while she's still got
she's
the
trying to
3 in
lock
front
it
of
down. She's thinking about her age. She's thinking about mortality. And she's going, here's this guy online.
Yeah.
I'm a big syrupy
Well,
Alabama
I think at
blonde.
this point she goes, I bet this Alabama accent's fake.
Oh.
I think that at a certain point she's going, I gotta get
Syrupy Draw does sound a little like an alias, like almost a comically bad accent.
Something is up with Faith in a way that we've yet to uncover.
Let's go.
I made reservations at a restaurant with a 4-star chef, arguably the best chef in Charleston, and asked the waitress to summon him to our table. Many chefs shine brightest when challenged. Ken, Faith here turns 40 today, and we'd love it if you design a dinner experience to match the occasion. I'd be honored, said Ken. And he proceeded to suggest a wine. He then had carte blanche to prepare whatever he wanted to. Yes, the whole experience was ridiculously expensive, but certainly one of the best meals I can ever remember. Afterwards, we once again headed to Faith's house for a night of extended lovemaking.
If I go in with this woman I've been dating twice, and I ask the chef to specifically prepare a meal for her.
And he's seen you with other women. He knows you're going through this divorce.
Last week, she was celebrating, it's like, Ken's going to throw the bread and olive oil down and say, get the steak.
Yeah,
buddy.
the amount of times Bob comes to Ken with a new date going,
Ken's doing the bare minimum.
yeah, this is...
Ken's looking at the menu from last season.
Ken just recommended the monkfish they're trying to get rid of since last week.
Yeah.
That monkfish is sitting in some ammonium in the back, and Ken's saying, "Hey, we got a 40th on table 27."
She was the third woman I'd made love to since my divorce, and the wonder and variety of a beautiful, naked, and inviting woman laid out before me hadn't waned. All were different in many ways, but all were equally as captivating to me. There comes a time, though, when two people in a relationship seem to simply go through the motions of being together.
Here we go.
Not too unlike a marriage that's run its course.
I don't know if marriages run their course. Marriage isn't running its course. Dating, I understand what he's saying. Don't bring the marriage into this.
Aren't you trying to find love again? You're already giving up on your next marriage.
Yeah, you go,
here.
look, and then it's going to run its course. I'm sorry. If someone's divorcing you and you ask why, and they go, look, this has run its course. You go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We agreed to be together forever, and you say it ran its course? Its course is infinite.
I know. I mean, the priest doesn't get up there and go, till death do its run its course.
Yeah. Till this feels a little like you're going through the motions. I mean, that's literally everything of like advice on marriage is like, it's going to be hard at times.
After making love one night, Faith hinted to it first. We're having a friends with benefits experience, aren't we? She asked. What do you mean, baby? I replied, knowing full well what she meant.
I love that he goes, he's going to make her spell it out entirely because he gets to be the good guy in this,
My question here, and this is an interesting, I've always wanted, is he's calling her baby.
I was going to say,
right.
This is the first time we've seen the word baby in the book.
Yeah, and that baby is a term of endearment. We're in more or less kind of a relationship now. When you start calling someone baby, maybe he's throwing baby here for the first time.
We like each other, she said, but there's hardly any love involved, is there? She wasn't being accusatory, and her demeanor was more pointing out the obvious to someone who needed clarity. I leaned back on my pillow, fell silent for a moment, and then smiled and looked at her. No, I guess not, I replied. But I really like you very much, Faith. She nodded. And I like you the same, she smiled.
There's this watershed moment here, and this is what I'm assuming, is that once they both agree that this is what's going on here, they're about to have some wild sex.
Mm-hmm.
That she's kind of going, there's no love involved, because then it's like...
It's not complex. Faith is about to ask for anal.
Saying there's no love involved in a relationship.
If you're wrong there, too. Because if you're in love with someone and they go, we're just friends with benefits, aren't we? And that could be devastating.
And it's a bit of a forward statement, because like, what if Bob had been there and gone, God, I was kind of catching some feels here.
This is her birthday.
And it's her 40th. He just took her to a nice dinner. He's like,
oh, this is the same night.
This is the same dinner.
Oh.
And she's going, yeah, this is all kind of meaningless. We're just fuck buddies.
You're right on the anal point.
This feels
You're right.
like anal.
This feels like anal.
We ended the conversation and dozed off for a while. As I had an early business appointment, I got dressed to go. Happy birthday, baby, I said as I bent over to kiss her passionately while she lay there half asleep. I'll call you tomorrow. She opened her eyes partway and smiled. Yes, sweetheart. Thank you for a wonderful birthday to remember.
He's a bit playing manipulation here.
Something feels weird here.
Maybe she thought Ken's dinner was garbage.
Yeah. Maybe that was the move. She was so in love until he goes, make us the special Ken.
Yeah.
Being told this is a loveless relationship while you're naked,
That's
pretty
a crazy time to do it.
I
no?
like it.
You like the post-sex, like let's just call out this weird energy.
Just cozy.
The energy in that room, because we just had a weird birthday dinner.
That was supposed to be like champagne popping.
Yeah, he did the right thing, I think, by taking her to a nice restaurant and all this, but it's also like, she should have been out with her girls, you know?
Probably was
40.
regretful from her. She kind of went, you know, I turned down the ladies tonight for this.
Yeah, you know.
For the tri-tip
Sasha and Barbara, yeah.
This radish,
For
this potato with like 5 arms. Yeah.
She feels her stomach grumbling in a weird way. She's going.
She's got a belly full of ripe green potato.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's, had to excuse herself to pass some gas. And this was supposed to be anal night. So,
What a wonderful, sweet woman this is, I thought as I grabbed my jacket and locked her door behind me. But she's right. This isn't going anywhere. And what's the point? All you're doing is preventing her from moving on to the man she really should be with. In fact, you're also preventing yourself from meeting the one woman you should be with. I called her the next day, and our conversation was pleasant but fairly short. I agreed with the points she made the night before, and we both decided it was best to move on.
I mean, he's breaking up with her the day after.
Yeah, I hope that he's being honest about this and that this is actually how she felt.
My assumption is she turned 40, and she has, as we often do on our birthdays, a little bit of what am I doing in my life?
Yeah.
A little ick
know?
with yourself, kind of.
And
Yeah.
it was kind of fun. She got the dinner. She got the whole thing. Then on her 40th, it hits midnight. She's kind of looking at the ceiling, and she's like, here you go again, Faith.
Yeah, this is how you're ringing in 40?
Yeah, I mean,
With,
2 years.
with Ken's special stew he whipped up.
Right.
and,
I mean, she's thinking, was the boob job worth it? Like, she's having some deep depth thoughts right now. And she's got a man over there who's basically just, a fuck boy in his late 40s.
Yeah.
I remembered what my singles pastor had said about divorced men being desperate. Yes, there were heavy emotional influences within me that I didn't fully understand. A simmering, yet not conscious desire to close the door on this search. I didn't remember experiencing any of this during my 20s when I was single. Life back then was one big party with no seeming end. If I found a girl, so be it. If not, there were always other opportunities.
He's maybe looking back and going, God, you were just kind of wasting your time a little back then.
Wait, break that down more.
He's writing this 10 years later from this moment. And he's probably looking back at his time with Faith, and he goes like, I was spinning the wheels a little bit.
He was spinning her wheels.
Spinning her wheels, spinning big wheels.
Her big wheels. Hot wheels.
War wheels.
Silicone wheels.
War wheels.
She had some wartime wheels.
She said some IEDs.
Oh my God. Sorry. Be cool, Laura.
To my mind now, at age 49, everything had changed. Yes, there seemed to be an ample supply of eligible single women in the Charleston area, but the emotional pressure of finding the right one was at times overwhelming. Be patient, I thought as I tried to comfort myself. I remembered the quote from author Greg Anderson about enjoying the journey and not the destination.
Greg Anderson, who I don't know who the fuck you are, Greg. We're going to just say Greg invented that. I mean, that saying's probably been around since cavemen
That's
times.
Plato. Oh, cavemen.
I think before.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah, as the author Greg Anderson said.
I mean, the first hieroglyphic was more or less talking about enjoying the journey.
The first writings are about enjoying the journey. The Odyssey is literally, I bet there's like early primitive life that showed signs of recognizing that you should enjoy the journey and not the destiny.
But in the substance of what he's saying, enjoy the journey.
Well, you hope he enjoyed the journey because his destination wasn't great.
I mean, the destination where he's going is 6 feet under. So is he enjoying it? I don't know.
In a way, though, you kind of look at it and you go, the destination doesn't actually really exist.
There is no destination.
No. Tomorrow you're going to wake up and whatever, you got that promotion, you got whatever. Yeah, great. You got that thing. But now you got to live doing that thing, which is a journey in and of itself.
Yeah, the existentialism
As the great Greg
of life.
Anderson once say, life is a highway.
I was going to say.
As the great Greg Anderson said, win in Rome.
But to Brett's point, there is no destination in life, guys. You're just living it. There's no ending point. There's no the sail. You're not sailing to Hawaii. You're just sailing.
It would be a more enjoyable sailing ride if you know a little bit of where you're going.
You need.
I always love a goal.
No, you need the goal.
Yeah.
No, the goal is the coordinates. All right. Today I need to hit those coordinates. All right.
Keep going.
The goal is I'm sailing. I'm hitting the coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
But we in life, we're thinking about the tropical island.
Wow.
It don't fucking exist. It ain't out there. Just sail.
Yeah, grab the seagull, drink its blood, because it's the
Grab
only way
the
you can get
seagull.
water.
Exactly.
Wow.
And there is something to be said about just sailing. Stop worrying so much.
Yeah.
Find the syrupy woman. Don't find her. Do what you want to do.
We don't give a damn.
But the dolphins are out there.
Fuck them.
Fuck each and every one of them.
Thank God I have my boys, I thought.
Boom. We got brought up. We only get brought up in the darkest of his times.
Yeah, when he's really in the depths.
I mean, we are so last call for him. Well, at least I've got my boys.
Well, at least I can still breathe.
I will say, without us.
It's funny because, at least I have my health. It's like, it's one of those things. Yeah. You are appreciative. It's great you have your health, but it's kind of that thing when shit's really so bad.
That's
you kind of
true.
go, at least I'm healthy.
Yeah.
At least I'm not dying.
I'm healthy. I'm alive.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we are. We're at least he's not dead.
Almost better for him to not have said that,
Yeah.
honestly.
And we're the bare minimum.
Raising them continued to bring me so much joy, and the pain of divorce on them was clearly beginning to wane. Plus, the glorious distraction of being a parent of 3 young boys delayed the inevitable thoughts about my emptiness that ultimately seeped back in. But as I sat back and stared at the ceiling, the emotions once again flowed in like the tide. There was nothing to do but accept them and try to move on.
Now that we've wrapped up Faith here, I think that he's more or less concluding some of the things we've already learned. Finding one that you really like. They're not on every street corner. A lot of the times you'll spin the wheels with someone.
Yeah.
And he's spinning the wheels with people. And sometimes spinning the wheels with people, it wastes your time.
Yeah, but it's company.
It's company, and I think he appropriately got out of it with Faith
That wasn't.
right after her birthday. But sometimes you spin the wheels a little too long with someone.
Yeah, I think he moved a little forward with Faith. And then I think he got to the point he goes, and now there's no traction.
Someone you don't really love, fucking number 9, that's just 2 bodies slapping against each other at that point.
That's true.
I know.
It's pure lust. And if there's even that at that point.
Probably at the birthday dinner, they're like, okay. And then during that sex was weird.
It was weird.
And I think that's the problem is that he didn't really describe the sex.
He didn't describe the sex at all. So if he's not describing it all, that means it's completely loveless.
It wasn't passionate lovemaking.
I love this thread. I feel like your dad is in a really beautiful transition time right now where he's been lusty and horny, and that's been the objective. And now he's like, you know what? Finding something a little deeper would be really fulfilling to me.
That's a good point. I think if anything, what he's doing now is we're prepping into what will probably be the first introduction of an actual relationship.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, hey, right now, this is kind of leading nowhere. I'm taking women out.
Yeah.
I'm asking the chef to do it. It's just lazy already. It's like you're asking the chef to do all the work.
This is supposed to be fun.
I mean, that's the laziest damn birthday you've ever taken a woman. Yeah, I'm putting all this onus on the chef.
Yeah.
I literally just took her to dinner. Hey, Ken, do the rest of the work.
Ken, do your magic. He's like, we have a menu.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't tipping enough to be asking the guy for custom meals.
Ken went, did you hear the specials or not?
Oh, the guy
that's what we got.
He goes, the guy that consistently tips 12% on the pre-tax amount is asking me to whip up a bespoke menu for a woman I've never seen it. And I know for a fact, Ken, it's so embarrassing to do that. And Ken's back there doing all this for a relationship that literally will not last 4 more hours.
Yeah. 3.
3. They probably had quick sex. I bet Bob was half chubbed through that whole sex.
Oof.
And that was it. And Ken goes, what the hell? Ken's going to listen to this and go, I made foie gras for that.
No. Do you think Ken knew what was happening that night? I'm telling you. Ken went back in that kitchen. He saw the wilted asparagus.
Yeah.
And he went, guys, I just found a way to make our dollar.
Ken went back through the trash and he goes, where were those radishes? All right, that's it. Where was those radishes? That smelled fine. I mean, that meal, that's probably why the sex was so bad. They had food poisoning.
Ken took a potato out that had sprouted A plant.
Yeah.
And Ken whittled it down.
I mean, Ken took a couple glasses of unfinished wine from tables that had already left, put that in glasses, served that to them. They got a blend, a Merlot blend from table 7 and table 35. And that's what they were drinking all night. Bob thinks they're getting some bespoke thing.
No, so okay, Laura, getting reflective now.
Yeah, let's talk.
What have you learned? Have you learned things about Brett that you're kind of like, wow, it's pretty interesting. My boyfriend comes from this somewhat bizarre background, you know?
This was a really challenging experience to go through at a young age. Not just the divorce, but seeing like an unraveling that you probably wouldn't have scripted yourself. And I don't know.
Do you
I
see
feel
the
like
shrapnel?
so much of what you guys, yeah, we all have shrapnel.
You see the shrapnel?
I think with you.
How would you say specifically you see the shrapnel?
You just want me to just rail on
Sure,
Brett?
of course. No, both of us. Either way, I don't care. Yeah.
On the positive, I feel really
Positive shrapnel.
I feel
Okay.
really positive about you guys. And I think that you've done a really, really good job with all of this. And I think, Brett, you and I,
Well, shrapnel can be good.
you and I have like an exceptionally good relationship. And I think that we actually put in like a lot more effort into it
Sure.
because we know what like a bad relationship looks like and how much we don't want that.
Talking about our parents.
Yeah, are you talking about? Are you saying my mom and dad's relationship is their failure to stay married is the reason that you and I are able to keep it together?
You hold it with a pole's length away, you know,
Mhm.
adds a lot of humor. We love the jokes. And that probably suffocates you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, the fact that you can like look at all of this and pick and choose the parts that you would like to emulate and the parts that you don't, I think is like pretty cool. I think you guys are exceptional.
Excellent point. I think ultimately what we all learn in life is that your parents are flawed and you learn as much from them as what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of with Bob is I kind of learned growing up what not to do. Plenty of things to do, of course, but even looking back, like, yeah, you try to buck the trends a little bit. You see your granddad saying one thing, you see your dad's kind of doing the same thing, and you go, God, maybe I'll try to break the history a little
Yeah.
bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So that's a
know?
newer thing, though.
And I think that's what we're trying to do here on this podcast, guys. We're trying to look at this book as a manual for us, a manual for you.
Yeah.
To go, hey, you're seeing your own parent in this, and you're going to go, wow, that's a little fucked up. My dad did this. My mom did this. And you know what? Don't do the same.
Don't do it.
Don't do it the same.
If you do it a little bit,
Do it a
that's
little bit.
okay.
You
That's
will do it a
okay.
little
Just
bit.
a little bit.
You're probably already
Just
doing it a little
drop
bit.
it in.
How many times have you slept with a Faith and called her baby and realized maybe that was a little too forward? Maybe a little too much. How many times have you been a Faith looking at a man and gone, why did I take this man on my 25th birthday?
True.
You know? This guy's a complete deadbeat. This is going nowhere. He took me to Sugarfish. He took me to sushi. And he split the bill on
Yeah.
my damn birthday.
I wonder what Faith is up to now.
Well, Faith's son is about at Alex's age, so he's 27, because he says closest to his youngest son.
Okay.
Nice.
He's got a good syrupy Alabama draw, you know?
Yeah, you wonder. You wonder.
But guys, we want to thank you so much for watching today about Faith. And next week, we have a woman named Ashley. And if I had to estimate anything, I would say that Ashley very well could be first semi-relationship.
You think we're getting into relationship territory?
I think it's possible.
It's about goddamn time.
Oh, yeah. Ashley.
He wants it.
Ooh. Ashley's a 4 or 5 pager.
Oh!
Another Audrey kind of thing. So Ashley, little more, you know, we put Faith in the middle of Audrey and Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do the A's next to each other. That means I think there's something significant happening.
We got something huge coming.
Something is significant happening with Ashley.
Yeah.
There's an Ashley River in Charleston. And trust me, we'll find the river of love next week on From Lust to Dust.
My horny dead dad.
From lust to dust.
Next week, we have comedian Sophia Benwell. See you next time.